Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome on the channel of Airland Battle. My name is Oliver and today I'm back with a new video. Today featuring a one-on-one on duel field, so kind of a classic. First of all, I want to apologize for lack of videos the last time. That was due to time issues and due to me getting a new computer and things getting a bit messy. However, I want to show you that reply I've got from one of the players in this match. I'm not gonna tell you which one because that kind of gives away who will win. I hope you don't get any graphic errors. I'm now on Windows 8 and Windows 8 is, well, let's face it, extremely pointless and pathetic. But never mind, let's take a look at the deployment right here. NATO is Dirty D. I think everyone knows Dirty D. He has got 4 Gazelle Cannons and 2 Black Hawks, apparently with Delta Force in it, I'd guess, which I guess will try to take the mid as fast as possible, which is kind of standard tactic on dual field. Then he also got a fast infantry army right here, a bit clumped up. I guess this will also aim for taking the mid, and this here seems to go for the left side. This is kind of an very lightly armored deployment, which is not that popular anymore after the last patch. Weasel MK20s, another unit that is not as popular as before the patch. I will talk about the patch a bit later though. He also keeps his Vulcans and yeah, that's about it. Leopard 1A1 is kind of standard since the patch because they got really powerful. So what do we see on packet side? On packet side we see T-72s, they got kind of popular, as well as T-72B, which got a very good ADGM buff, now having 9 accuracy and 15 AP on the ADGM. We got a strop in the book, which is yeah, that's okay, I'd say. Even considering that NATO Hilo Rush has got a lot more viable sailors, kind of standard. Even after the patch, a lot of people are still taking them down. I'm personally not doing so anymore, just for the sake of trying out new stuff. The T-72 really got pretty good actually, but not this version. I'm not talking about this version. This version didn't get buffed except for the aim time, as far as I remember. The was Cyberwall is now a very valid option, and of course Melkas. As for Recon, you now after patch usually go for an MI2 because they got an incredible price buff, now only costing 40 points in the East German version. That is incredible for a helo with very good optics. That is really an incredible price, so consider those if you're playing packed and wondering which Recon helo to take. So let's start the game. So NATO is already rushing towers to middle zones while pack is not even moving at all right now. Now they're starting to move. It seems like pact is going for Alpha. Oh no, now they are going the other way around for some reason. So what do we see on the NATO side? NATO side also does try to take their 3-point zone with a lot of units, which is something you don't see very often in dual field. Most of the time people will just dogfight each other in Foxtrot and Golf, which can get kind of boring, which is why I dislike playing dual field in the last time. So yeah, as expected, Delta Force and the Black Hawk, what else? They're already being deployed while Pack isn't even near there. So NATO seems to have taken the town in the middle. Pack didn't even really try to go for it. They're now shelling the town, which is the most reasonable thing one can do. So with a bit of luck they might actually get the Delta Force. So Pact main forces seem to be moving towards Echo, which is kind of reasonable. You usually try to give up Charlie and take Echo as your main redeployment zone on dual field 1-on-1. So standard tactic is to take Bravo and then go for Foxtrot. That's just, yeah, most people do that. But as you see, it's also pretty viable to take India and Juliet. It's only 2 points less, and a lot less risk, I'd say. A lot more open fields now. It kind of depends on what you want to do. So Pact seems to have stopped shelling town for some reason. Maybe because the town isn't of that much strategic importance to them anymore. Because looking at where their main army goes, I reckon they are just ignoring the middle town, which is a thing that you might actually consider on this map if you're being if your enemies have taken the town before you. So what Doty is doing here is seems like an attempt to outflank. I think that MI2 has spotted this. Now it's flying away, but I think this MI2 has spotted that. So he's charging 8 empty Saracens and 3 VABs with infantry in them. Tower's right flank. So this is the first replay I'm casting after the what we call the ultimate patch, and the ultimate patch changed quite a lot. I think the first thing you're gonna notice when you go in game is that tanks actually have a lot more field presence than they used to have, and this is just so amazing. I've been waiting for a thing like this for literally ages. I mean, literally ages. I always wanted to see more tanks in the battlefield, and I don't mean the dreadful heavy tanks meteor there, only tanks you saw were Leopard 284s and T-80Us. No, I mean, like, you know, a large diversity of lower end to medium tanks. That's actually great to see, because what the marshals did to the tanks was mainly decreasing their aiming time, and therefore well, more or less increasing their rate of fire effectively. So therefore tanks got a lot better, apart from additional price decreases. For example, in the Leopard 1 series, the whole Leopard 1 series got buffed in both aiming time and the price. So Leopard 1 now actually is a very good choice, where you should consider it if you're not yet having it in your deck. Another thing the patch changed, I'm gonna come back to this a bit later, because Pact is now charging through on Juliet with its complete force. You see a very, very ludicrous large amount of T-72s and Sailors charging towards Juliet, and it seems like they are breaking the kind of weak NATO defenses right there. Because, well, there is not much left to actually defend Juliet, and as far as I can say, Command has now retreated out of Juliet and is, or at least seems like, it's headed toward Foxtrot, which would be a reasonable way to go, considering that Foxtrot is pretty much in safe hands of NATO. And yes, Doty seems to be moving his commands toward Foxtrot now, changing over to Pact side of view. Pact is now further charging into Juliet and countering Leopard 1A1s. I am curious who's gonna win here. Slightly wetted Sailors or unwetted Leopards. Of course the Sailors have the advantage of actually being twice as many, and therefore having twice as much firepower and health points. But oh no, the Leopard 1A1s are routed by the Malka fire incoming from Pact base. I might do LSK out of fuel. Something will kind of very often. So the only thing left right here are a few Milan F2 teams. This one is fully vetted, as well as this one. So that's a 50-point infantry unit there, right out in the open. That is kind of risky. That's like it's as if no, that's worth more than the T-72s over there. And I wouldn't leave my immobile 50-point units out on the field like that, honestly. So Wislam K20s, still a very rock solid unit even after the patch. 15 points for a nitro cannon is not a bad price. It's actually the cheapest nitro cannon you can acquire as a NATO player. I mean, it's on an incredibly crappy chassis, we all know that, I think. It has 0 armor and like can go like 10 meters before it has to be refueled, but still it's a rock solid unit to defend against spams. But the reason you see it not that often on the fields anymore is because first of all it got a speed decrease on roads because it was backed and was going the speed of real vehicles, despite it being tracked, and it also got a slight availability nerf. I think it doesn't matter that much, but there isn't so many spams anymore you have to defend against, and that was what the Wislam K20 and in general any autocannon unit excelled at, was defending against very large and massive spams. But with the nerfs to APC armor, you don't see this kind of kamikaze infantry spam anymore. I mean, look at that. Fuchs doesn't have frontal armor anymore. It has 0 frontal armor. Frontal armor is bulletproof. That means that it is resistant against small arms fire. But 0 armor means that the damage you receive from APs, from AP values higher than 2, is actually multiplied by 4. So a lot of things one-shotted to the front now, which kind of makes charging infantry and APCs into tanks pointless, which is a very good thing. I mean, seriously, which tank commander would have charged his precious infantry and unarmored vehicles right at tanks and unloaded them about 10 meters in front of the tank? That is kamikaze style, and it has worked before the last patch. So this is a really good thing. Now, patch has also changed some things to bad, but we will speak about that a bit later. So what has happened in the match? 30D is starting his outflank right now with, well, Saracens as screening units, I guess, because they are crap and don't have any infantry in them. So Pack has now spotted that and is trying to fight against that with the Mi-24, but the Mi-24 is way too close to those APCs. That was a mistake. You could have positioned it a bit better. So while Pact has taken Juliet, they have now actually positioned a command in Juliet. Kind of bold, but they've totally overrun the left flank of NATO while ignoring the middle. NATO is now trying to flank Pact, and that is a very nice move, I think, because there's literally no defense on that side of the map, and Pact now seems to be retreating their command out of the zone already. Kind of overcautious, but considering that there is literally like no defense at all, that seems like a sensible thing to do. Why is it lagging? I mean, seriously, it's a replay, it shouldn't lag. So now Pact has called in T-62s. I don't think this will rescue them at the moment, because this is a lot of APCs to shoot down, and the Saracens are kind of worthless. They're only screening units. The the units they have to aim for are the VABs, but the VABs are in the forest very soon, and therefore, oh, they got one, and therefore Echo is kind of a run with 3 units of infantry. That is interesting, because, well, those were 3 units of infantry, not like an overwhelming force at all. But you see, if you use the right tactics, and if your enemy doesn't cover his flanks, you can get kind of successful with that kind of tactic. So, Pact is now moving that command as well for some reason, despite Juliet not even being in danger, and is charging its G72s right into the Milans. That is not a good idea. Points-wise, Pact is ahead by a lot of points. It's actually 600, about 600 to 365 for Pact at the moment. So Dirty really has to come up with some kind of tactic to regain a point. But he seems to be trying that right now, and so far this is pretty effective. I mean, Dirty has taken Foxtrot and Bravo, which is 6 points, as opposed to Juliet, which are only 3 points, and more importantly, Pact has no mean of resupplying whatsoever, and what you saw there was just a command going down to MLRS, and that has put Dirty back in the game. And this is so typical. I mean, really typical. So he has got some MLRS. I'm just trying to figure out where to get there. And oh, that was a nice shot. Now the problem will be to resupply those. However, Hammer's already on their way. So Pact is now desperately trying to get a resupply zone, and is therefore attacking India, which is, I think, a good idea actually. And this is kind of what some people would call a base trade scenario. NATO has more or less taken Pact's initial deployment zone. I mean, they have not taken it this week, but they have cleared it from Pact units, while Pact is now charging into India, which is NATO's initial deployment zone. But, and this is the big but, I think NATO has a lot of a better position right here. I mean, Foxtrot is kind of a fortress. They're not even trying to take that. I mean, he would be stupid if he would try to take Foxtrot. It's just an attack where he can only lose the point. I mean, he has taken India. I mean, that's only 1 point. So at the moment, Dirty D NATO is on a large advantage income-wise, even if victory points-wise it's only a difference of one bloody point. 605 to 604. So Pact has lost advantage, but they need to act now, especially considering their very weak tactical position. They kind of encircled. NATO has their forces everywhere. They are spread out, they are behind them, they are to the sides. So Dirty really has a good position on the field, while Pact is kind of clumped over here. So let's get back to the patch and what it has done to the game. So I've talked about some things I liked early on, and there are certain things I do dislike, and those include the now all famous, oh god, those ones are going there. Yeah, that is putting Dirty in the lead because he didn't move the smart kills. However, the now all infamous NATO Hilo rush. So what has happened is that the most important NATO rocket ports gained HE2 and therefore doubling their damage output. Now, the Cobra has got a 10-point price increase, so it's kind of expensive right now. Many people are not taking it, but the Hawk does have a G2 and did not get its price increased. It did not get anything changed about it except for a G2. So that means we now got a 25-point unit with a large availability that is shredding through everything. Now, I do think that the Hawk does deserve a higher price. That is definitely true. I mean, look at the Hawk, it's worth more than 25 points, you have to admit that. Not much more, 30, maybe 35, but still, it's a bit too price effective at the moment. But is that thing unstoppable? No, it is not. Haley spam is not unstoppable in my opinion. You just need to take AA in a decent amount. It resupplied. The book is actually very good because HE10 splashes a lot and is therefore excellent against blobs of helos. A single missile can kill multiple helos. That is a beautiful thing. You just need to keep it resupplied, as always with the book. Tunguskis, yeah, 2 Tunguskis per player are kind of standard, and you should keep that at least. 2 Tunguskis per player standard. Probably a book. Think about protecting your CVs with Eagles. That can actually be pretty effective because Eagles one-shot Napier helicopters, and if you use them to defend your CV, for example, positioning them on the forest edges like here, they can actually fend off quite a lot of air. So now, I do think the Hawk is a bit unpriced, but I don't think that Helo Rush is that much of a problem. Just probably need some adaptation to get used to. As NATO, Helo Rush has never been a problem. Even there, if you spot a Helo Rush, just call in your new, all shiny anti-air helicopters. And now, a lot of people have been asking why we, the Marshals, have been increasing the HE to 2. Well, that is not actually, that is a bit more complicated. We wanted to buff the recon helicopters, especially armed versions, like for example, you all know the Gazelle SNEB, the Gazelle Snap, which nobody, literally nobody takes ever, and it actually uses the same rocket pods as the Hawk and Cobra. It is the FFR, I believe, and due to the way weapons work in Wargame, you can't just change the FR only for the Gazelle. You have to change the FFR as a weapon as a whole, so every unit that uses the FFR gets HE2 on the FFR, so weapons are not being differentiated between the units on which they are used. I hope you understand that. I hope it kind of makes sense. So in order to buff, for example, the Gazelle Snap, you need to increase the HE on FFR, which is also affecting the Cobra and the Hawk. Now, we did see concerns in that a Cobra spam might be very powerful and therefore increase the price of the Cobra. I think the Hawk was kind of an oversight. If there will be something done about that is uncertain. There might be something done about it, but you know, you can't promise anything. It was meant to be the ultimate patch because it's the last patch. However, I think all that rage about the NATO Halo spams are kind of unjustified because it's not like NATO helicopters are invincible now. So back to the game, we see that Dirty has a 200 points advantage right now. So and all of that, pretty much, literally all of that came from the MLRS. He just got on using the MLRS. You may have to admit that Breadbox wasn't moving his units soon enough, like for example the command over there and the Marcus he lost over there. So this MLRS is kind of winning dirty the game right now by a very passive playstyle at the moment. Though that flanking maneuver over there has really helped Dirty's position, because they have forced Pack to take action to move around, and as soon as your opponent moves around, you can take position and snipe them out. So Pack is kind of encircled in India, and that is a shitty tactical position to be in a 1 point sector where the opponent has a lot of presence. But one thing I wanted to mention was that the T-72B now seems to be a go-for heavy tank for Pack, though, yeah, it kind of got better, but it's not that good, I think. It's still not that good, but it's worth considering. It's still 120 points and only has 7 frontal armor, but the gun and the GM stats are marvelous, so you may consider taking this, but be careful with it not to lose it, because 120 points is not a shabby amount of points for your opponent. Replay kind of lags. This is so strange. Why does the replay lag if I need to replay? I mean, look at that. At least for me at the moment, it's kind of lagging. Well, never mind. That really is lagging. I'm right back. So there I'm back. I've just restarted the game. I hope it's not as laggy as before. However, I think I've talked enough about the patch now. If you want to see other people's opinions about the patch, and there are a lot of different opinions, please go onto the forums. There are enough wine threads over there. You can discuss with a lot of people to no end whether this patch was a good one or not. I honestly think it was a good one. I mean, tanks, hello, tanks on the field. I've been waiting for this for ages. But if you guess that, we could chop it, that would be so lucky. Yeah, he did get it. Oh, nice one. So, Dirty is now in the lead by 250 points, which is kind of a lot in a static game like that one. So, next topic, Wargame Airland Battle Beta. This is something a lot of people have been talking a lot about in the past week, for obvious reasons. The Wargame Airland Battle Beta is starting very soon, maybe even this week. I don't know the exact date yet, please stop asking me for fuck's sake. And the Wargame Airland Battle Closed Beta is on invitation only. I have, of course, been invited. I am for a moderator and the UG Systems Marshal, so yeah, kind of obvious. Every Marshal has got 10 keys to distribute amongst whatever they feel is the most appropriate one to get the key. So this is one option to get a key. And kind of interesting that the windshield is covered on this helicopter. No wonder the Mi-2 is so shabby. However, this will start very soon, and as I've read today, there will be no NDA. NDA means non-disclosure agreement. So a lot of people have this NDA, which is kind of forbidding you to talk about the game. But Wargame Airland Battle Beta won't have an NDA. I don't have the details yet, but I believe that this means you can publish videos. What this means is that this might be the last Wargame European Escalation video you will see on this channel. So prepare for some Wargame Airland Battle content in the coming weeks and days. This will be very, very interesting, and I hope I can. I mean, there will be a lot of people who upload videos about Wargame Airland Battle, but I hope I can offer you a high quality video about Wargame Airland Battle. Now, first of all, I won't rush that video out like most people, most YouTubers will do. I know a lot of people will get Wargame Airland Battle videos out on day one, after 1 hour after the beta has been published, while I'm still downloading with my shabby internet. But I will try to get something high quality out, and I will try to get a long introductory video out. I will try to get a lot of gameplay out actually, so that you can get a good first impression on the game. Please always keep in mind that this is a beta, the first closed beta. There will be a ton load of bugs. I mean, let's face it, be honest, there's always a ton load of bugs in betas, so this won't represent the final game. But I will be talking about this when I'm uploading the video, or even if I'm going to upload the video. Let's see if you're even allowed to share videos. I do think so, but let's just wait for official confirmation first. Packets charging into here with the T72s and the BMP2s. I think that's the last attempt to actually do something about the Chevy situation, because I believe the time limit is 30 minutes. So they are now charging T72s and T3. That is not working even after the patch without a lot of luck. Yeah, you see that T72 has lost kind of a lot of health points without dealing much damage in return. And this T72P is completely out of pockets. So as far as I know, with the beta we are only getting 2 maps. The first one is a remake of Highway to Hell, I think, and the second one is yet to be disclosed. So there won't be that whole lot of content in the beta. So don't expect a proper finished game. This is a beta. If you want information about beta, I have written an FAQ with everything you need to know. It's posted in the Wargame Airland Battle section of the official forums. Go over there and read through it if you want to know more about the beta and if you have questions. If there's any questions left, feel free to post in the forums or PM me on the forums. I'm getting a ton load of PMs at the moment. I'm answering them all, so just write to me or post a forum thread if there are still some questions left, as the communication by Focus and Eugene kind of sucks, to be honest. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that cast, the first one since like an age. I'm very sorry for that. I simply can't spare the time sometimes, so I'm actually uploading on a very irregular basis. But if you want to see more Wargame, and if you're not satisfied with what I'm giving you, I can really recommend Sulcaris. Of course, I've mentioned him a lot in my previous videos. Sulcaris is a very good YouTuber to go for Wargame Airland Battle content, and Digital Adhesive is also a very I wouldn't say competent, but at least very entertaining Wargame caster. If you're German, go and head over to No Destiny TV. I think everyone knows that one if you're German. And I think Troublemaker, or also known as the Game Guru, also does videos, as well as let me think about it. Not that many people actually. But Digital Adhesive and Sulcaris are very, very good channels, so check them out if you want to see more Wargame on a more regular basis than I can offer you. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Please share your opinions on the patch, on the replay, on whatever you feel like. And as always, I would very, very much appreciate your comments, rates, and of course subscribes. Thank you very much for watching. You're an option.